But then there's also large group debates, which I tend to do as well. And there's one I run every year for my course, European Politics, in the second semester. That involves the whole group. It's usually 60 to 65 students. And last year I tried to ramp it up to college, but there was not enough advertising beforehand. And so the topic I have chosen for the last 2 years was the EU democratic deficit, which is a big issue. So the motion that I propose is, the EU doesn't suffer from a democratic deficit. And so this requires a lot of preparation beforehand, usually before the Christmas break, and this will be, taken place in March, say. I start to, encourage students to come forward. So I need 2 teams of volunteers to defend each side of the motion. It's like an Oxford Union type debate. And then some students are very reluctant. But often by then I've already identified the shy ones who have produced very, very good coursework, and then I'm asking myself, why are they not engaging in the discussion? So I will sometimes ask them, by email or something, if I haven't got enough volunteers. And then one from each team has to be the coordinator, and they will meet over a period of time, 2 or 3 times online or face-to-face usually, and discuss each side of the motion, and usually allocate the labor among themselves, and on the day. So meanwhile, I am, doing some prep of my own, and staying in touch with them. That's important to sort of make sure that the conversation is ongoing, so that on the day there are, no hiccups. And so then my role on the day is I'm the moderator. But there is, booking the room and all that, and finding an adequate room. So far we haven't videoed the thing, but that's a possibility too of doing it eventually. And then on the day, when the students enter the room, and I always ask them, bring your friends and all that, but usually it's mostly the students who take my course. Then we take a vote. I take a vote beforehand to see how the members of the audience feel about this, who thinks, yes, the EU suffers from a democratic deficit, and who believes that they don't. And so I jot down the results, then I throw a coin to see which team is going to go first. And, that adds a little bit of, fun to the game, I guess, because I try to, have them see it as a fun exercise, really, in learning. And then each team has, I think it's about 12 minutes to make their case. There's usually about 5 students in each team. And so each student will put their point forward, and then I give the floor to the other team, and I keep track of the time, strict timing. And then they have a chance for a rebuttal, 5 minutes each. And then I open the discussion to the floor, and the other students then can engage with it. And then I take a vote at the end to see if anybody has changed their minds. Because that's the whole point, how persuasive have, each team been in. So, and that's pretty much it. And that works quite well. And students who have been reluctant to come forward, but have subsequently, because I persuaded them to, will come back and thank me for it. I say, I'm so glad I got involved in this, and there are incentives for them to also participate, and I tell them that beforehand, that it's very good for their CVs, and often there the students will come back to me and ask for a reference letter if they need to do master study or something. So that gives me a little bit of information that I can put in the letter, and so there are ways of sort of trying to draw them into and participate. that will benefit themselves as well. So.